by drilling a series of holes by hand.
This is the hand drill?
This is the hand drill.
Right.
You think that's all they had to do it with? Like they had to drill holes around like that by hand.
How far does that have to go in?
You want to go down about 3.5, 4 inches.
3.5, 4 inches. It's a fair old way.
Yeah. Imagine coming to work and having to do that all day long.
Yeah, I know.
You know, the chaps doing that all day long.
Yeah. Hard life.
They were hard men, there's no doubt about it.
I reckon you should give him a break.
It's time for Peter to try his hand at drilling granite.
Apparently you get used to hitting your thumbs. Oh man, that is an absolute killer. Just doing that, my lord. With a cold hand as well.
With the professionals back on the job within an hour, the holes are drilled. Now the stone can be split.
That's what we call the plugs and feathers.
Plugs and feathers.
So obviously as you drive those, it'll split the stone out.
You just keep hitting them.
Yeah, one after the other.
Yeah.
This is the most critical part of the whole procedure. A clean break is essential, but they've got one chance to get it right.
That's it.
He's gone down there.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, that's excellent.
With the granite block cut to size now, they can hollow it out to make the trough. It's a job that will take days.
Do you reckon a sort of farmer would have been able to split his own granite stone?
No.
No.
Farmers we know in about to do it. All right for milking a cow, but not splitting granite.
It's mid-September. Alex and Peter hope they've stored enough hay to feed the livestock. They must ensure it's kept dry all winter.
You've got the old book of the farm there.
Edwardians would have thatched a rick, rather like a cottage.
Hello Keith, good to see you again.
Thatchers Keith Payne and Bill Liversidge have come to help.
Nice to see you. So what do you think then?
Well, I'm impressed, Alex. It's so much neater than I thought it might be.
Have a look at that.
Good. Now,
Alex has read about an ingenious way the Edwardians mechanised thatching.
The idea of that machine is that you can put reed through it, thatching reed. It stitches it together and it comes out in a continuous mat.
Wow.
I push the reed through, keeping it the same thickness all the way through. Instead of spending weeks thatching a rick, they would only spend a few hours, which gave them time to do hedging and stone walling and things like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was a labour saver as well, really. I'm actually feeding this through the same as you would cloth through a sewing machine. Try not to pull it too much, otherwise you might cock the works up. Whoa.
Oh dear, Bill, sorry. I've just taken my eye off the ball here a second and we've dropped a stitch.
Well, you really have got to concentrate on what you're about, mine. Otherwise, if this comes undone on the rick, we're going to have a wet spot on the rick. So
Yeah.
if you could pay attention a bit more and
I'm sorry, Bill.
stop looking around. There you are.
In she
That's
goes.
good as new. I reckon to be quicker to thatch it in the old traditional way, employ you two doing it with this thatch mat making machine.
Back, and then stop, and then cut. About there. Tap.
Ruth's daughter Eve is visiting and helping to make the cottage more homely.
Next one. So we're making a rag rug, or we're trying to make a rag rug for the floor. The floors are pretty hard in here. You start the base, it's a sack, it's a Hessian sack. And then it's whatever bits of old fabric you've got, and you're better off with nice warm wool because that's going to be warmer underfoot. I mean, they cost absolutely nothing, rag rugs. Nobody's going to miss an old sack. and it just makes the whole kitchen feel warm and comfortable and homely, and it saves scrubbing the floor.
I'm getting so good at this. Da, 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 da. Actually feels like a rug now as well.
Yeah. Well, just carry on, dear.
Cheers, Mum.
Here's the end.
The thatch-making machine has produced enough matting to cover the rick.
Further this way.
Now the tricky part, attaching it.
Right, with these pegs, Alex, we want 2 along this edge, okay?
In here and in there.
Yeah, I'm going to twist them in the middle so they become like a grip.
Yeah.
Double twist. Nice and soft on your hands then.
Yeah.
Points upwards, okay? Then it doesn't course water into the middle of the stack.
Sort of coming in like that.
Coming
yeah?
on that top string and try catch that string with the first one.
Yeah,
nice
like that.
uphill, yes.
Going uphill.
Yeah, drive them in with your hands.
Got them in there like that.
Lovely. And then give them the last tap.
Look at that. No hands.
Traditionally, this rick would have been thatched by lashing bundles of straw to the roof, a process that would have taken 6 hours.
Last few fixings.
Using the machine-made mats takes just 40 minutes.
Oh, there we go. One waterproof rick.
Well, lads, you've done an excellent job. I'm sure it'll be waterproof.
Well, let's hope so.
Just one little thing that I think you ought to be wary of when you uncover it and feed it to the animals in the winter.
Right.
Just be aware of the spores, the white spores that come out, because it will give you a thing called farmer's lung,
Right.
and it will give you breathing problems in the future. So
Right.
I would suggest that when you uncover it, you do wear a mask. But other than that, I'm sure it will stay nice and dry, and the animals will appreciate it in the winter, the hard work you put into it.
Making the rag rug has proved a much bigger job than Ruth imagined.
I'm almost there. I'm so close. The amount of fabric that's used in the end is, well, it's huge actually. I think, frankly, it would equate to about 3 double blankets. Oh, my rag rug. When it does eventually wear out, a thing that's made from scraps and other people's rubbish will go on the compost heap and be useful yet again.
The ewes have settled into life on the farm, but to rear lambs, they'll need a ram. Matthew Cole has returned to Morwellum with a present for the boys.
Good to see you again, Matthew.
And you?
Who's this?
This is Cyril.
Cyril.
He looks fantastic.
That's what a ram should look like, Peter.
Yeah.
Probably 4 or 5 years old. His horns are like the rings on a tree. You can see
Right.
how old he is.
What's he going to give us in terms of the offspring?
His offspring are going to be your next crop, if you like,
Right.
in terms of lambs. So you're looking for a good broad body right back through, and you're looking for, back through here, you've got all your chops,
Yeah.
you've got your 2 shoulders, you want plenty of meat there,
Yep.
and then you've got your 2 expensive legs, your legs
Right.
are down at the back.
That really is the sort of money
That's
end,
the
isn't
money
it?
end. In order to tell the thickness of the skin on a sheep, which tells you how hard he is, you just feel his ear and you feel how thick it is. That's proper leathery, proper thick.
The thickness of that ear, basically, that's going to tell you how thick the skin is.
That's right.
And
And that'll give you a representation of how hard, well he's going to resist the weather.
Well, I think he's quite eager by the looks of it.
Yes,
so
he is.
Yeah, he's
soon we'll
making
get
my
him out.
arms ache.
Okay, let's get him out there.
You've got control there, Alex.
Yeah, I'd sort of.
Just hold him there. Don't let the dog see the rabbit.
Ready to send him in?
Nice time.
Okay, then.
Go on, chap. Go on, Cyril.
There we are. There's no messing, is there?
Oh, no.
Wow, there we go.
You'll notice him walk round behind him. If she stands still,
Yeah.
it's game on.
Doesn't look as if any of them are actually ready at the moment.
They might be a bit camera shy.
They might be, yeah.
All right, Matthew. Well, thanks ever so much for bringing Cyril down.
No problem at all.
We'll keep you posted on developments.
Yeah, well, I look forward to see how he gets on. It'd be nice to see his offspring.
A week's passed since Peter commissioned the granite trough. He's returning to the quarry to see how they've got on.
Is it taking a long time? A lot of work?
About week.
Right.
Week and a half.
Fair old time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're talking a lot of hours gone into it.
Yeah. That is a work of art.
1, 2, 3.
Now Alex and Peter can deliver it to their flock of sheep.
Yeah, I think you've got the short straw here.
Well, anything but lift it, mate. Wait.
So, what do you think of the trough then?
Well, I have to admit, when I first saw it, I thought, that's not a trough, Peter, that's a bird bath. But in fact, it's heavier than me, so I'm already learning to respect it. Now, we could just put the feed on the ground. The danger of putting hard feed on the ground is that they come into contact with their own droppings, and the droppings can carry worms. The worms get inside the stomach, start eating the food away, and then your animals will basically become emaciated, and with winter setting in, they'll die. So the trough is critical for hard feeding. Woo. There we go. Fantastic. At first I was really sceptical about Peter's granite trough endeavours, but I have to admit it's the ideal trough to feed your animals from the field. It's heavyweight, so they're not going to knock it over. It's going to be there for decades. So yeah, all in all, I think that was a good idea.
It's late September. After a long search, Alex and Peter have found a smaller lime kiln that should produce the 10 tons of quicklime they need. Colin Richards is a quicklime expert and will supervise the burn.
So this is it, yeah?
This is it.
I think this is far more manageable.
In this kiln, limestone will be heated to 900 degrees.
Easy to fire, so hopefully at the end of the 4 days here, you'll have some lime to be able to use on your project.
Fantastic.
Stafford Holmes helped restore the kiln and will be in charge of loading it.
Nice to meet you too.
Well, these are certainly in much better condition, these kilns, than the ones we've got down in Morwellham.
Well, they should be. They've been very carefully repaired.
When were these kilns in operation?
The last time they were burnt continuously was probably around the 1950s.
So this is limestone, and we need to turn this into quicklime.
That's right.
And how do we do that?
We apply heat to it, basically, and that involves, with this kiln, creating a fire at the bottom, which we start with wood, then we put a layer of coal, and then layers of limestone, layers of coal, right up to the top of the kiln.
Well, I suppose the fumes are toxic coming out the top.
That's right, yes. It's something which, you have to respect. The whole process, involves a lot of chemistry, but the reality is it's a very caustic material. It can burn your skin. So we've got to be very sensible about the way we go about this.
It's Peter's job to ensure the critical first layer of limestone is spread evenly.
Right. Watch yourself.
It's looking good.
Next, a layer of coal. Then another layer of limestone.
Will be 25 shovelfuls.
Stafford's concerned that unless the amounts in each layer are precise, a constant 900 degrees won't be maintained, and no quicklime will be produced.
So we're looking at quite a few layers here, aren't we?
Total of 15 layers of fuel and 15 layers of stone. 100 kilograms, 20 shovels.
So every shovelful is counted in.
18, 19.
But the level of precision necessary means the loading is taking longer than the boys had hoped. By early evening, there's barely a ton loaded.
Moon's out. Let's hope we've got enough moonlight. 10,
It's late.